Federalism, Reservation, and the Current Situation by Pratap Sharma. Nepal is a small country which, at different intervals throughout its history, has undergone radical changes that have drastically altered the political environment and the culture throughout. Perhaps the most important of these historical periods occurred in 1950, when the Nepalese people revolted against the Rana regime, installing a three-party agreement which was done under the arbitration of India. Following a regime that was heavily isolationist, most experts agree that foreign influence became strong during this period in Nepalese policymaking. The political crisis and immature mentality of many of the political leaders during that time provided a suitable opportunity for the new monarch at that, King Mahendra, to make a move later referring to as 1960 coup d'etat, wherein he suspended the constitution. He effectively dismissed the elected parliament and the cabinet and imposed direct rule, imprisoning Prime Minister Bishweshwar Prasad Koirala and his closest government colleagues. To defend these actions, he claimed that the Congress had fostered corruption, failed to maintain law and order, and put party politics above the interests of the nation. More than 10 governments were found and then subsequently dismissed during the period from 1950 to 1960, which created political instability and conditions of lawlessness in Nepal. King Mahendra consequently eliminated the party system and promulgated a new constitution, introducing a panchayat, a guided system wherein the people could elect their own representative. However, the true power remained in the hands of the monarchy, and political dissents were referred to as anti-nationalist elements. In many ways, a similar political strife to that of the 1950s is appearing in Nepal after the promulgation of the new constitution in 2015. As a result, the implementation of a federal state reservation system has been a topic of heated debate and controversy, heavily steeped in ethnic and cultural issues. Many feel that the plans, policies, and programs within the reservation system should be reviewed, and that they should focus more on those of low economic status rather than those of particular ethnic group. However, in addressing this issue, it's important to understand the ethnic climate in which reservation policies have sprung forth. Nepalese society is still rife with inequality, and research shows us that certain communities and castes are given little to no opportunity to work in the public sphere. Lower castes, women, and the poor are still some of the most vulnerable in our society, with minimal access to civil institutions and resources. Education is also lopsided, with 7 out of 10 of the least educated districts in Nepal lying in Madesh, and these 7 districts have an average literacy rate of 48.77%. Moreover, people in these districts earn a much lower income than the overall national income, and it is still quite common for Madeshi girls to drop out of school prematurely. Those who were born to privilege of family name, business, connections, and inheritance have more of an advantage to be able to display their abilities based on merit and achievements. And those born without those advantages are simply not evaluated or considered. With the existing situation in Nepal being what it is certainly not easy to distinguish between issues of caste and issues of poverty, where boundaries between the two are often blurred. Reservation is a form of positive discrimination that seeks to provide opportunities to individuals of every group with equality in mind. It is designed to favor members of a disadvantaged group who face discrimination within their society and disproportionately suffer more hardships. It has been implemented in many countries outside of Nepal, including India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, the United States, and many more. But whether such policies are implemented, they are almost always hotly debated. Experts still agree on the effectiveness and Experts still disagree on the effectiveness of reservation on the disenfranchised groups it is designed to support. One of the sharpest criticisms of reservation is that it tends to benefit only the wealthiest and most fortunate of the groups it targets, and overlooks those in the same group of low economic status, while actively taking opportunities away from the poor people of other groups. However, the problem with this criticism is that it assumes that reservation is like some kind of welfare program designed to help the poor. It isn't. Its specific intention is to help those of a certain group, which faces discrimination, to gain equality overall in their society, equality in education, and equal representation in government, thus granting upward mobility to those who previously had no access to it. There's no question that there should be programs to help the poor of all ethnicities and castes, but this is not an effective argument against reservation because there is no reason why we can't have both. Before I end this article, however, I want to explore one more factor. Many supporters of reservation in Nepal would also like to divide the country on the basis of caste and ethnicity. This would likely have the reverse effect of what they are looking for. It would instead provide a means for further negative discrimination against the vulnerable sections of society. Dividing the country by caste would only serve to further separate the castes socially and politically, increase ethnic tension, and create possible conflict. Reservation could not divide groups up and separate them, but instead it should bring groups together and allow them to get to know each other in ways never possible before. In this way, I feel that reservation in Nepal is taking a wrong turn compared to other countries who have managed to use it effectively.